There's almost not a day that goes by that I'm not just in awe of the natural beauty of this place. To be able to work here every day and to kind of be the people who are tending the land and growing the crops and growing food for our family and our community, it really is an honor, and that's something I don't often forget. We've always been a really diversified operation, growing organic vegetables and fruits, meats, cheese, and now pasture-raised eggs. This is kind of a continuous evolution. You know, we're not a producer of any one product. We're the stewards of this land, and we're growing food for our community. We've learned over the years that it's really good to specialize, but in 10 years, my kids might decide to focus on something else, and that's okay. This is one of my favorite things to do, though, is like watching the birds come in and discover that there's like all this new food to eat. The roosters will like find a bug or something, and then they start making that noise like, and all the hens like run over, and he's like, hey, look what I found. Like, I'm the man. Regenerative agriculture is all about reconnecting ourselves with the natural world and growing food in a way that's actually enhancing the environment and building soil and building biodiversity rather than taking away from it. Everything kind of has a symbiotic relationship. If you're going to have a system of agriculture where you're harvesting something, that means you have to be giving back to the land. The amazing thing with livestock is that they're kind of like this magical creature that is constantly eating, and the food's going through the digestive system, producing meats and eggs and things that we can consume, but it's also the manure and urine is so incredibly full of all these nutrients that the soil needs. It's a win for the animals because they're on fresh, healthy pasture getting really nutritious food, which then provides really nutritious, healthy food for us as humans. And also, it's giving back to the soil. It's a loop, constant and never stops. It's always feeding itself and getting bigger and more complex. With the animals and the rotations and with cover crops and crop rotations, we're able to grow an enormous amount of food on this farm with zero inputs at all. Really, the only input that we are purchasing on a regular basis is the feed for the chickens. Producing food in this way is more labor intensive, for one thing. Working with the crew today, we have, 4 or 5 people gathering eggs 7 days a week, compared to the industrial model where hundreds of thousands of birds are trapped inside this one building and the eggs are on a conveyor belt going out. There might only be one person working at that facility managing 500,000 chickens. But we all know the true cost of that, which is, environmental and human and animal welfare and on and on. So just to start off, our costs are higher. That's just the reality. So that means the food we're selling is more expensive than what you could get off the back of a Cisco truck. One of the biggest challenges is just staying in business. There was a lot of years where honestly I was like, I don't know if this is going to work. Like, I might have to find another career path. And honestly, I think it's just because I'm super stubborn. I put a lot of years of working 60 to 80 hours a week, paying myself $20,000 a year. And that's hard, especially when you have a family. That's like just not realistic. So, you hear these statistics about like farmer suicides and stuff, and it's not because people don't like to farm. Because you can also read these other studies that say that farmers are the happiest people in the world. So it's like, wait, what's going on here? Farmer suicides are on the rise. Farmer bankruptcies are on the rise. Farmland loss is on the rise. But farmers are the happiest people on earth. How does that doesn't add up. How could you not be depressed if like everything you've put your entire life into is not paying the bills? That's another component of regenerative agriculture that I think is not talked about nearly enough. If it's not a profitable model, it's not going to continue indefinitely. In the early days of growing our egg business, I just started going door to door, going to like every single restaurant and going to little shops and grocery stores. Maybe 1 out of 20 people said yes, but that's really all it took, is finding the people who really cared about local and about sustainable agriculture. And once we got those, it started to grow and people started to pay attention and take note. Now we have over 50 accounts, 2 delivery vans, and we're going 5 days a week now doing deliveries. Even today, even 30 years in, it's not easy. Like, we're still working towards a goal. I want a model where we can pay all of our employees a good wage, our family can make a good living, and we can continue to reinvest into this land and into our infrastructure. Having a business and a model here that incentivizes the next generation to stick around and want to be here. If we do that, then I think we've succeeded. This place was really not producing anything hardly when we got here, and every year it's become healthier and more productive. And to this day, we've been finding native grasses that we've never seen here before, and birds that have never been here before. The biodiversity is moving in. I can only imagine the same things happening in the soil. The amount of life that's on this piece of land has kind of been exploding. We rely on all the same things that all other life on planet Earth relies on. Taking all these major mistakes we've made as humanity and fixing them and creating a path forward, that's our job, and that's the next generation's job. It's going to take all of us, and it's going to take a collective shift in the way that we all think about agriculture and food and how we can use that as a tool to heal the planet and to heal ourselves. That's my parting message.